We are back. UFC 292 this weekend. If you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. You already know. So let's get into the money. Last weekend, these fight nights, I tell you guys, I eat people alive. I eat the bookies on the fight nights. But on the pay-per-views, that's when they bring in the big guns, right? They're putting a lot of odds makers on these pay-per-views. And most importantly, they're putting their better odds makers on the pay-per-views. So that's why it's a lot harder to make money on the pay-per-views. That being said, this one's decent card. A lot of favorites. So if you're looking to make money, you're probably going to want to parlay some favorites. There's a couple good dogs that, I could see winning. We'll get into that. So my last week's pick, I made two parlays. My main pick, my double up, right? I always tell you guys where the double up boys. I'm just looking to double up on my big bet. So my big bet parlayed Terrence McKinney and Khalil Roundtree. I told you both those guys are going to get finishes in the first round. That's exactly what Terrence McKinney did, and that's exactly what Khalil did. Just perfect matchups. And then I told you Hakeem Dawodu was going to win a decision, and we were robbed. Yeah, it really pisses me off that this fucking judging bullshit, dude. It's getting on my fucking nerves, and I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people were putting Hakeem Dawodu on their parlay. Like, does that have something to do with it, or the bookies have, some hand in this with the judges? I don't know, because this shit might be rigged when it goes to the judge's decision. That being said, um, the only way to fix bad judging is to, give them less to do, right? Give them less to do. So, how do you fix shitty judging? It's not going to fix 100%, but I'll tell you right now, it'll make it a lot better. If UFC was one round, 15 minutes, or one round, 25 minutes for title fights, that makes it way better. Now, it doesn't favor the striking, stuff like that, but I'll give you an example. Let's say Volkanovski fighting Islam Makhachev. You guys remember that first round? Islam had his back, body triangle, was attacking the choke. Boom, round ends, and now you're back on the feet. Dude, that's a lot of work to trying to get that takedown, and you only have 5 minutes to work when you get the fight to the ground. To me, that doesn't simulate a real fight. In a real fight, no one's going to come and stop, rounds over, go get some water, clean yourself up, and come back, get a little breather. It doesn't happen. It's not realistic. You want it as realistic to simulate a real fight as possible. How do you do that? One round, right? Does Volkanovski get out of that position when Islam has him there fresh in the first round? I don't know, right? We'll never know. But the round ends, and then it gives judges, now instead of having 3 rounds to judge, they can just judge the whole fight, right? So that's, in my opinion, much better way to go upon it. But the UFC doesn't care because they're going to want to favor the striking. That's where the highlights are, right? The highlights are the knockouts, so they're going to favor the strikers in that regard. So it is what it is. But yeah, we were robbed with Hakeem Dawodu because he won that shit. Even Cub knows he won that shit. It pisses me off. So Aljamain Sterling taking on Sugar Sean O'Malley. Classic striker versus grappler matchup. Now, Sean O'Malley, trains with Timbo, black belt. He's got a decent submission game, but nothing like Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling can wrestle his ass off too. Trains with Marab. Honestly, at the weigh-ins, when you see Aljo at the weigh-ins, he is shredded. This guy looks like a freak. Cuts from 175, I believe, to 135, which is insane for his height too. 5'7", 175, and you're cutting all the way to 135. That's a lot of weight, but he seems to make it no problem. Makes championship weight, and he just looks he looks in ridiculous shape at those weigh-ins. And you got a guy like Merab Dvalishvili, who's probably the number one guy in that division, who's pushing Aljo every round, probably the greatest training partner to have. And that's why you see this guy's in ridiculous shape, bro. Took down Henry Cejudo. Who do you know takes down Henry Cejudo, Olympic gold medalist? That's unheard of. And if he's taking down Henry, I'm assuming he's going to be able to take Sean O'Malley down. Sean O'Malley's got decent takedown defense. Looked great against Peter Yan, but to be honest, I thought he lost the fight against Peter Yan. And he was a huge underdog going into that one. I think it was like plus 300, plus 350. I got to go Aljo. I mean, how can you not, right? I mean, I think Aljo is going to take him down, take his back probably, and just dominate the grappling. Sean O'Malley's got one way to win, in my opinion. He's got to get lucky, catch him with a big shot. Now, that being said, Aljo's chin's a little suspect, or was, right? He hasn't got knocked out since the Marlon Moraes fight, I believe, which was 7 years ago. He's been on a roll since then. And Sean O'Malley, one thing he has, he hits really hard, especially in that division. He's big for that division. 5'11". That's super tall for 135. And he hits hard. And if he can catch Aljo coming in, or he could definitely get a finish. To be honest, I don't see it. I think Aljo's just so much better everywhere. Aljo's a really good striker himself too. So I'll take Aljo on that one. Weili Zhang takes on Amanda Lemos. I think this should be easy work for Weili, especially if she takes it to the ground. So I'll take Weili Zhang on that one. This is interesting. Neil Magny stepping on short notice to fight Ian Gary, the undefeated Ian Gary. Ian Gary's been on a roll too. Neil Magny, he's coming off a win over Phil Rowe, beat D-Rod, lost to Gilbert Burns, and lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. No shame in losing to either Gilbert Burns or Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's losing to top guys. Even beat Jeff Neal. Now he's taking on Ian Machado Gary. Ian Gary, man, this guy's his last fight against D-Rod, he looked outstanding. And the fact that he's been in camp for this fight, Neil Magny has not, taking the fight on short notice. I mean, you got to go with Ian Gary on that one, but don't be surprised because Neil Magny can grapple. And you haven't really seen too much of Ian Gary's grappling, but he's a wicked striker. Let's see here. So I guess Garbrandt, he's out. He's supposed to fight Mario Bautista. Hopefully they get Mario another fight. Now this is interesting. Chito Vera taking on Pedro Munoz. To be honest, I like the underdog in this one. I think I'll go with the underdog. I think Pedro Munoz is going to win this, to be honest. Marlon Chito Vera, he starts out really slow. And now that works great when you're fighting 5 rounds. But against a guy like Pedro Munoz, you don't want to start slow. Pedro Munoz, he starts fast, man. And he's got wicked jiu-jitsu, much better jiu-jitsu game than Corey Sandhagen. So if he is able to dominate the grappling like Sandhagen did against Vera, I think Pedro Munoz can get the victory here. I think Marlon Vera hasn't been too impressive. Even his wins over Cruz, he was losing that fight. And then he, came back with the KO. Even against Rob Font, he was losing most of those rounds. Ended up stealing the round at the end because he would rock Font and, steal the round that way. But I haven't really been too impressed with Marlon Vera. I think Pedro Munoz with the right game plan. Corey Sandhagen wrote the blueprint. Take Marlon Vera down and just work him. And I think Pedro Munoz, he can easily do that. And he's a great striker himself. So don't be surprised if you see Pedro Munoz outboxing Chito Vera. Chito's definitely got better kicks, though. But I think I might go with underdog. It's a pretty good bet, plus 160 right now. Oh, the return. The All-American, Chris Weidman. I haven't seen this guy fought in a while. His last fight was in 2021 against Uriah Hall, where he broke his leg. So, thing with Chris Weidman, he's definitely on the downhill. This is not the same Weidman that beat Anderson Silva, beat Machida, beat Vitor Belfort. After that Luke Rockhold loss, he has just not looked the same. Now you got maybe 2 wins over Gaslam and Omari Akhmadov. I really, if this fight, both guys were in their prime, I would go all in Chris Weidman. But Chris Weidman, coming off a broken leg, he's not too active even before that. And yeah, I think I'm sort of leaning towards Brad Tavares here, but I don't know, man. To be honest, Brad Tavares isn't very good either. And the fact that he's such a big favorite, minus 260, he's almost a 3-1 favorite going into this. You're almost better off taking Chris Weidman for the odds. I mean, Chris Weidman can easily dominate the grappling here. I would definitely give him the wrestling edge and the jiu-jitsu. Striking, it's pretty close, but, that can go either way. Both guys don't have the best chins anymore. But, both guys. So Brad Tavares 35, Chris Weidman 39. Yeah, he's getting up there, man. I think this is probably Chris Weidman's last fight. He probably wants to end on a good note. That's a tough one. I don't even know. I don't even know about that one. I'm staying away from that. But for the odds, Chris Weidman's not a bad bet at all. Now, Gregory Rodriguez takes on Dennis Tulilian. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Robocop, this guy's got great striking, hits super hard, either gets knocked out or knocks you out. I love watching this guy fight. He, beat Chidi Androquani, Julian Marquez. Now his last fight, he lost to the Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. But, Bruno Ferreira is a monster right now. Yeah, I'll go RoboCop all day on that one. I think he gets it done. Considering the odds too, the odds makers see it the same, minus 350. That's a big favorite. Austin Hubbard takes on Kurt Hollabog or whatever. Been super impressed with Austin Hubbard, actually. I've been watching him on The Ultimate Fighter with Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. Hearing his story, I'm sold. I think Austin Hubbard's going to be re-energized getting back into the UFC. Right? Let's say before the UFC, he was 2-2. Right? 2 wins, 2 losses, and then they kicked him out after his loss to Vince Pichel. And then he fought the Let Me Bang Bro guy, Julian Lane, beat him in a decision, and he beat Keegan Agnew in a decision. But his fights on the Ultimate Fighters impressed me a lot. And, he pieced up Roosevelt Roberts pretty good. That was a good fight. Roosevelt Roberts, he's good. Taking on Kurt Hollabog. 36 years old, coming off 2 straight wins. Yeah, so those 2 wins, he was in the UFC. He's another guy who's in the UFC. Had 3 straight losses, right? Lost to Hani Barcelos, got finished by Shane Burgos quick in the first round. Lost to Thiago Moises, who are all pretty good guys. Got kicked out of the UFC and then, bounced back with 2 quick wins, right? He had a quick win over Jaziro, finished him in like 26 seconds or something. And then he had another win over Jose Luis Verduga, I believe is his name. And, quick victory there. I think it was a quick second round finish, 10 seconds into the second round. But now you're taking on Austin Hubbard. To be honest, I'm leaning towards Austin Hubbard on this one. The odds are not out. I'm very curious to see the odds because I might add Austin Hubbard onto my parlay. But yeah, I think I'm liking Austin Hubbard on that one. Brad Katona is to be announced. I mean, this fight is 5 days away, and he's supposed to be fighting, and I don't know. I don't even think he's going to be fighting if they still haven't announced that. Who knows? Unless something comes out later in the week, but this video is a day or 2 old, so maybe something has came out and I just missed it. But as of right now, Brad Katona does not have a fight. Andre Petroski taking on Gerald Mershard. To be honest, I can't stand Gerald Mershard. I don't think he's very good, and I think Andre Petroski should slice right through him. And Andre Petroski's been competing in grappling tournaments, competing MMA, So is Gerald Meerschaert. Lost to Joe Pfeiffer in grappling and in MMA. His last two. Beat Bruno Silva, which was impressive. Choked out Bruno Silva. That was a very impressive win. He also, submitted Mahmoud Muradov. So he does have wins over high level guys. That being said, I don't think he's going to submit Andre Petroski. Andre Petroski is a good grappler himself, and now you're going to be forced to strike with Andre Petroski, and I think that's just going to lean right into Andre's hands, and I think he easily should get this one done. I think he finishes Gerald, or if not, it's going to be a unanimous decision win. Yeah, so not a bad card, not a bad card at all. Hopefully everybody, stays in there and you're not going to see any pullouts, but Aljo, Sean, dude, if Sean can win this fight against Aljo, you can't take anything away from the guy, dude, because a lot of people are trying to, say, he got lucky with the Peter Yan win and this, that. So don't let the pink weird hair and rainbow shit fool you, dude. He can fight. Sean O'Malley's for real. He's got good takedown defense too. It seemed against Peter Yan. Got great striking. If this fight stays on the feet, I think this is Sean O'Malley's fight to win. 5'11". Aljo's only 5'7". And the UFC definitely wants Sean O'Malley to win. They don't like Aljo. Sean O'Malley, on the other hand, this guy's got a YouTube channel. He's great at promoting the fight, great speaker. And, the young kids love him. So Sean O'Malley's the guy they want to win. Now, that being said, you got to fight Aljo. Aljo, on the other hand, if he wins this fight, he's claiming he wants to vacate the title, move up to 145, which is probably the worst idea I've ever heard. You're the champ at 135. Now you want to move up to try to get double champ status, which is obviously legendary. But the thing is, you're going to have to fight Alex Volkanovski. And Volkanovski, he's going to shred Aljamain Sterling, dude. There's just levels to this. And that guy beat the lightweight champ, in my opinion, right? Knocked him down, almost finished Islam in that 5th round. Aljamain doesn't stand a chance, dude. I mean, would you put Aljamain against Max Holloway? Dude, Max Holloway's big compared to Aljo, bro. That's a bad matchup for Aljo. I don't think he wants to move up. But that being said, Merab's, in my opinion, like you hear a lot of people, Merab gets the better of Aljo in training. So I'm assuming, they want to give Merab the title shot, and bad idea for Aljo if he moves up. I think you keep making that money, bro. Keep making that money, defending your title. If Merab doesn't want to fight, that's your own little personal issue they got, but I would not move up to 145 to challenge Volkanovski. I think that's one of the stupidest ideas you could probably do. You're going to get smoked. But who knows? I think if he goes in there, starches Sean O'Malley, subs him quick, they might make that fight happen. But yeah, those are your picks, and let's make that money, bro. Let's make it. I haven't made any bets yet. I'm just waiting to see what Austin Hubbard comes out as. I'd like to see if they give Brad Katona a matchup and go from there. But yeah, no bets yet. Just tune in maybe on my Instagram. I might post something, or maybe I'll post a video later down the week with my bet. Good luck out.